A little girl ran straight into my arms, crying, shaking. "Dad, where were you?" The entire school office went silent. Parents stared at me, teachers froze. I had never seen this child before in my life. Then she looked up at me again and whispered, "They said you weren't coming back this time." My blood went cold. My name is Adrian Keller. I was 34 years old, living alone in Portland. No wife, no children. At least that's what I believed the morning a terrified little girl called me Dad. Before I tell you what happened next, take a second to subscribe to the channel. And tell me in the comments, round pushpin, where are you listening from tonight? Trust me, this story only gets darker from here. I kept staring at the little girl like my brain had stopped working. She couldn't have been older than 7, small, dark curls, pink backpack hanging off one shoulder. Her tiny hands were wrapped tightly around my jacket, like she was afraid I'd disappear if she let go. The school secretary behind the desk looked just as confused as I felt. "Emma," she said carefully. "Sweetheart, are you sure this is your father?" The little girl looked up at me immediately. Hurt crossed her face so fast it physically hit me. "Why does everybody keep asking me that?" she whispered. Then she buried her face into my stomach and started crying again. I stood there frozen. I didn't know where to put my hands. Didn't know whether to comfort her or step away, because one thing was absolutely certain. I had never seen this child before in my life. 10 minutes earlier, I'd only walked into Roosevelt Elementary because someone hit my car in the parking lot outside. That was it. A silver SUV had clipped my bumper while backing out, and the office staff told me to wait inside while they found the owner. That should have been the end of my day. Instead, this little girl ran through the hallway screaming, "Dad," and now 20 people were staring at me like I belonged to her. "I think there's been some kind of mistake," I finally said. The little girl pulled away instantly. Her eyes widened, not angry, worse, terrified. "No," she whispered. "No, you promised." My chest tightened. "What's your name?" I asked gently. "Emma." The second she said it, something strange happened. Not memory, not recognition, just a feeling, like hearing a song you haven't heard in years but somehow still knowing the words. I shook it off immediately. Coincidence, had to be. The school counselor entered the office a moment later. Tall woman, late 50s, gray cardigan. She stopped the second she saw Emma clinging to me. "Oh my God," she breathed. Then she looked directly at me. "You came back." The words hit me weirdly. "Excuse me." She blinked rapidly like she was realizing something was wrong. "You're not Daniel." "No," I said quickly. "My name's Adrian." The counselor's face drained of color. Emma looked between us in panic. "No," she said louder this time. "That's my dad." I crouched slowly in front of her. "Emma, I think you might have me confused with someone else." She started shaking her head violently before I even finished. No, tears rolled down her cheeks. "You left last winter." Every adult in the room went silent again. The counselor gently placed a hand over her mouth. I felt something ugly twist in my stomach. "Sweetheart," I said carefully, "where's your mother?" Emma's expression changed immediately. Fear, real fear. She said not to tell. The counselor stepped forward quickly. "Emma, honey, why don't we go sit down?" "No," she grabbed my arm harder. "Don't let her take me." Now my pulse started climbing. Fast, something was wrong here, not misunderstanding wrong. Dangerous wrong. The counselor forced a smile. "Mr. Adrian Wright, maybe you should wait outside while we contact her guardian." But Emma was already crying harder. "She'll come back if he leaves." I looked down at her. "What do you mean?" Her breathing became uneven. "She said if I told anybody, he'd disappear again." Every instinct in my body suddenly screamed at me not to walk away from this kid. I wish I could explain why. I barely knew her name. But fear like that, kids don't fake fear like that. The office phone rang suddenly, making everyone jump. The secretary answered quietly, then her expression changed. She looked directly at Emma. Then at me. "Her mother S here." Emma's entire body locked up, actually froze. She looked at the door like she was watching a bomb countdown. "No," she whispered. The front doors opened seconds later, and the woman who walked inside made the room colder. Tall, perfect posture, dark coat despite the warm weather outside, beautiful in a severe kind of way. But her eyes immediately locked onto Emma with something that didn't feel maternal. It felt controlling. Then she noticed me and stopped walking. For half a second, all color disappeared from her face. The reaction was tiny. Most people wouldn't catch it. I did. Because it was the exact same look I imagined someone would make after seeing a ghost. "Emma," she said calmly, too calmly, "come here." Emma immediately hid behind me. The woman's jaw tightened for just a second before the fake smile returned. "I'm sorry," she told the office staff. "My daughter has been having emotional episodes lately." The counselor nodded nervously. "She believed this gentleman was my husband," the woman interrupted smoothly. The room went dead silent again. I stared at her. "I'm sorry, what?" She looked directly into my eyes now, and somehow she looked nervous. "He resembles my late husband," she explained quickly. "Emma's trauma has caused some confusion. Late husband, okay, that explained part of this, maybe, but something still felt deeply wrong." Because Emma immediately screamed, "That's not true." The woman's expression snapped for a fraction of a second, cold, sharp, dangerous. Then it vanished again beneath another smile. "Emma," she said softly through clenched teeth, "we talked about lying." "I'm not lying," she was sobbing now, actually trembling. I looked at the woman carefully. "What happened to her father?" The question landed badly, too badly. She hesitated, tiny pause, but enough. "Car accident," she answered. "When?" Another pause. 2 years ago." Emma suddenly looked up at me, and what she said next sent ice through my entire body. "That's not what she told me before." The woman moved instantly, fast. "Emma, enough." She grabbed the little girl's shoulder harder than necessary. I saw Emma flinch. That did it for me. "Hey," I said sharply, "take it easy." The woman released her immediately. But now she looked irritated that I'd noticed. "I appreciate your concern," she said coldly, "but this is a private family matter." I should have walked away. That would have been the normal thing to do. A stranger's child, a stranger's family, none of my business. But Emma looked up at me again and quietly said, "She burns his pictures." Something changed in the room after that. The counselor looked uncomfortable. The secretary avoided eye contact. Even the mother seemed caught off guard. "Emma," she warned, but the little girl kept talking. "At night she says he abandoned us." The woman grabbed her hand, hard. "We're leaving." Emma panicked instantly. "No," she reached for me desperately. "Dad, please." "Emma," the woman snapped. That word, "dad," again, and somehow it sounded less like confusion now, more like recognition. The woman pulled her toward the door while Emma cried loudly enough for the hallway outside to hear. Then right before exiting, Emma twisted around one last time and screamed, "She has your watch." Everything stopped. My breathing, my thoughts, everything. Because the watch on the woman's wrist was mine, not similar. Mine, same scratched silver frame, same cracked corner on the glass. The exact watch I lost 8 months earlier after blacking out drunk one night downtown. The same watch I never found again. The woman saw me staring at it. And for the first time since entering the school, she looked afraid, real fear. Then she dragged Emma out the front doors and disappeared. For almost 10 seconds after they left, nobody moved. I kept staring at the empty doorway while my heartbeat slammed against my ribs. The watch, my watch, that wasn't possible. I hadn't seen it in 8 months. Not since the night I woke up on a park bench near the river with a pounding headache and no memory of how I got there. I remembered checking my pockets. Wallet gone, phone cracked, watch missing. I'd assumed I was robbed. Now a terrified little girl was screaming that her mother had it. The school counselor finally broke the silence. "Mr. Keller," I looked at her sharply. "That watch belonged to me." Her face tightened immediately. "You should leave this alone." That answer hit me wrong. "What?" The counselor glanced toward the secretary nervously before lowering her voice. "I mean it, go home." My stomach twisted harder. "Why would you say that?" She hesitated too long. Then, because Emma has had a difficult year. That's not an answer. She becomes attached to men who resemble her father. But my watch somehow ended up on her mother's wrist. No response. Just silence, dangerous silence. I pulled out my phone immediately, then called the police. That changed her expression instantly. "No, too fast, way too fast." "Why not?" "Because it'll upset Emma." "No," I snapped. "Something else is going on." The counselor stepped closer, and for the first time she looked scared too. "You need to understand something," she whispered. "Emma's mother is very connected in this city." That sentence landed like a warning, not information. A warning. I stared at her. "What does that mean?" But she shook her head immediately. "I've already said too much." Then she walked away, leaving me standing there alone with my pulse climbing higher every second. By the time I got outside, the black SUV was gone. So was Emma. Rain had started falling lightly across the parking lot. Cold, gray, the kind of weather that makes everything feel wrong. I sat in my car, gripping the steering wheel, trying to think logically. Maybe the watch was coincidence. Maybe I lost it somewhere and somebody found it. But then why did that woman react like that? Why did Emma call me dad? And why did every adult in that building seem terrified of saying too much? I drove home feeling sick. My apartment suddenly felt smaller than usual, too quiet. I opened my laptop and searched the school directory first. Roosevelt Elementary, staff photos, counselor, Linda Mercer, principal, Olivia Hart, no mention of Emma or her mother, obviously. Then I searched local property records. Nothing. Social media next. That took longer, almost 2 hours, but eventually I found her. Claire Holloway, the same woman from the school office. Minimal online presence, no public photos of Emma, no husband listed anywhere, but one thing stood out immediately. Her late husband's name, Daniel Holloway. I froze, then leaned closer to the screen. Because Daniel Holloway looked disturbingly like me, not identical, but enough to make someone stare twice. Same dark hair, same jawline, same eyes. The resemblance made my skin crawl. I clicked deeper. Most of his photos were older, 3 years old, 4 years old. Then they suddenly stopped. Last public post, forever in our hearts. No cause of death listed, no obituary attached. Nothing. Weird, very weird. I kept scrolling until I found a photo from a charity gala. Daniel smiling beside Claire, expensive suits, luxury hotel background, rich people. The comments underneath mentioned Holloway Development Group, real estate money, big money. I leaned back slowly. Connected in this city. Now the counselor's warning made more sense. But it still didn't explain my watch, or Emma, or why that little girl looked genuinely terrified. Around midnight, my phone buzzed suddenly. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, then answered. Hello, silence, soft breathing, then a tiny whisper. Dad. Every hair on my arm stood up. Emma, I found your number. My chest tightened instantly. How? She keeps papers in her office. Her voice sounded shaky, scared, like she was hiding. Emma, where are you? At home. Are you okay? A pause, then, she's mad. I stood up immediately. What happened? She said. I embarrassed her. Something about the way she said it made me feel physically ill. I walked to the window automatically. Rain hammered against the glass now. Emma, listen to me carefully. Are you safe? Another pause. Then I heard something faint in the background, footsteps. Emma inhaled sharply. She's coming. The line went dead. I called back immediately, straight to voicemail. Again, voicemail, again, blocked. I barely slept that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Emma grabbing my jacket in the school office. Dad, where were you? By morning, I'd convinced myself I was overreacting. Maybe she just needed help psychologically. Maybe she projected onto men who resembled her father. Maybe my phone rang again. This time it was my friend Nate. We'd known each other since college, former police officer, now private security. You sound awful, he said immediately. I need a favor. 30 minutes later, we were sitting inside a diner while I explained everything. Nate listened quietly without interrupting. When I finished, he stirred his coffee slowly. You think the mother abused the kid? I don't know. You think she stole your watch? Yes. You think somehow this dead husband thing connects to you? I exhaled hard. When you say it out loud, it sounds insane. Yeah, Nate admitted. It does. Then he leaned forward. But your instincts are usually good. I rubbed my face tiredly. She looked scared when Emma mentioned the watch. That matters. Nate pulled out his phone. Let me run the husband. Within minutes, he frowned. That's weird. What? There's almost nothing on this guy after 2 years ago. What do you mean? I mean, dead people usually leave paper trails, obituaries, death certificates, news articles. Something, but Daniel Holloway practically vanished. Cold pressure built slowly in my chest. Nate kept scrolling, then stopped completely. Oh hell, what? He turned the screen toward me. A photo, old security footage from a downtown bar. Date stamp, 8 months ago. The exact night I lost my watch. The footage showed me arguing with someone near the parking lot exit. Tall man. Baseball cap, face blurry, but beside him Claire. I felt dizzy. That's her. You know her? No, but she knew you. The diner suddenly felt too warm, too loud. Nate zoomed in further. You look drunk. I was. What happened that night? I told you I blacked out. No, Nate said slowly. I mean before that. I searched my memory desperately. Fragments, music, whiskey, rain. Someone yelling, then nothing. Complete blankness. Nate looked uneasy now. Adrian, this doesn't feel random anymore. My pulse climbed again. What are you saying? I'm saying a little girl thinks you're her father. She's confused. Maybe. He pointed at the screen. But why was her mother with you the night your watch disappeared? Neither of us spoke for several seconds. Then Nate quietly asked the question I'd been avoiding since yesterday. What if you knew this family before the school office? the room suddenly felt like it tilted sideways, because deep down, some horrible part of me had already started wondering the same thing. I left the diner feeling like my life had quietly split in half. Everything before the school office, everything after. Rain followed us across the city while Nate drove. Neither of us spoke much, because every possible explanation sounded insane. Either Emma was traumatized and confused, or somehow I'd forgotten something massive, something impossible. "You ever lose time before?" Nate finally asked. I kept staring through the windshield. What? Blackouts, memory gaps. Weird periods you can't fully explain. I hesitated, then nodded slowly. A few times after Claire died, Nate glanced at me. He knew about Claire, my ex-fiancée, 3 years earlier. Drunk driver, wrong place, wrong night. After that, my life got ugly for a while. Too much alcohol. Too many nights waking up without remembering how I got home. Therapy eventually helped, mostly, but there were still holes, especially from that night 8 months ago. "You think somebody drugged me?" I asked quietly. "Maybe that doesn't explain Emma." "No," Nate admitted. "It doesn't." We pulled into his office garage downtown, small private security building, 3 floors, old brick exterior. Inside, Nate opened files on his computer while I paced behind him. "I still know people," he said, unofficially. "You find anything on Claire?" "Not yet." Then his screen froze. A notification popped up. "Restricted medical access request denied." Nate frowned. "That's interesting." "What?" "Daniel Holloway's death records are sealed." I stopped pacing. "Sealed, not normal unless lawyers or money are involved." He typed again rapidly. Another pause, then, "Oh hell, what now?" Nate turned slowly toward me. "There's no body." The words slammed into me. "What do you mean no body?" "I mean, according to county records, Daniel Holloway was declared legally dead." He looked back at the screen. "Without remains ever being recovered." A cold feeling crawled slowly up my spine. How does someone get declared dead without a body? Missing person statutes sometimes. Wealthy families can push things through faster. I sat down heavily. Everything about this felt wrong now, not strange, wrong. Then Nate opened another file. "Traffic camera footage request." My stomach dropped instantly. "Date, the night I lost my watch." "You can get that." "Not legally," he muttered. The footage loaded slowly. Black and white security angle, downtown intersection, rain, crowds, then me. Stumbling outside the bar, Claire beside me, I leaned forward. "That's definitely her." Nate paused the frame. "You two look familiar. We never met before." "You sure?" "Yes." But even as I said it, I wasn't completely sure anymore, because Claire wasn't acting like a stranger in the footage. She was holding my arm, talking closely into my ear. Then another figure entered frame. Tall man, hood up, aggressive posture. The same blurry guy from before. He shoved me hard. I remembered that. Barely a flash of anger. Then another fragment slammed into my head suddenly. Emma laughing, a little girl's laugh. I grabbed the desk hard. Nate noticed immediately. "What?" I pressed fingers against my temple. "There was a kid." "What kid?" "I don't know." The memory vanished as quickly as it came, leaving only pressure behind my eyes. Nate stared at me carefully now. "Adrian, I swear to God I don't know what's happening." "I know," but his voice carried uncertainty now. Like he wasn't fully convinced anymore. The footage continued, Claire arguing with the hooded man. Then the camera glitched, static, 7 missing minutes. When the footage returned, I was gone. So was Claire, so was the hooded man, only Rain remained. Nate leaned back slowly. "That's bad. What happened in those 7 minutes?" "No idea." I stood abruptly. "I need to talk to Claire." "That's dangerous." "I don't care." "You should." He pointed at the screen. "Rich family, sealed records. Missing dead husband, scared kid, you blacking out. This is bigger than you think." I grabbed my jacket anyway, then my phone buzzed. Unknown number again. My chest tightened instantly. I answered immediately. "Emma," heavy breathing, then, "No, Claire." Her voice sounded calm, too calm. "You need to stop digging." I walked toward the parking garage exit. "Why does your daughter think I'm her father?" Silence. Then, "She's confused. She said you had my watch." Another silence, longer this time. "You should let this go, Adrian. How do you know my name?" She remembers faces. "That's not what I asked." Her breathing changed slightly, controlled but strained. Then she quietly said something that stopped me cold. "You don't remember me because you weren't supposed to survive that night." Everything inside me went still. "What?" "You need to stop asking questions." "Who Who was the man in the hoodie? No answer. Claire. Then she whispered, "He wasn't my husband." The line disconnected. I stood frozen in the garage. Nate came down moments later and immediately saw my face. "What happened?" I looked at him slowly. "She said Daniel wasn't her husband." His expression darkened. "What?" "And she said I wasn't supposed to survive." Silence. Then Nate swore quietly under his breath. "We're done treating this like family drama." "What does that mean?" "It means somebody tried to kill you." The sentence echoed inside my skull. "Kill me? Impossible. Why? I barely knew these people, didn't I?" Then another memory fragment hit me, sharp this time. A child crying. Rain, someone screaming, "Take her and Gio." I staggered backward. Nate grabbed my shoulder. "Adrian," she was there. "Who?" "Emma." I could suddenly see flashes now, not full memories. Pieces. Emma sitting inside a car, tiny pink backpack, crying, Claire screaming at someone outside in the rain, then headlights, violent headlights, and impact. My knees nearly gave out. "Oh my God," Nate steadied me. "What did you remember?" "I was there." "Where?" "The accident." A horrible silence filled the garage. Then Nate spoke carefully. "Adrian, what if Daniel Holloway never existed?" I stared at him. What if somebody created him?" "That's insane." "Is it?" He stepped closer. "Think about it. No body, no records, no clear history before Claire." I felt sick again. "You think someone changed identities?" "I think somebody wanted a man erased." I shook my head immediately. "No," but my voice sounded weak now, because suddenly a terrifying possibility had started forming. What if Emma wasn't confused? What if she recognized me because she actually knew me? No, impossible. I would remember having a child, wouldn't I? Nate's phone rang suddenly. He answered quickly. Listened, then his entire expression changed. "Say that again." My pulse skyrocketed. "What?" He slowly lowered the phone. "That school counselor, Linda, she's dead." Everything inside me dropped. "What?" "Car accident." "When?" Nate stared directly into my eyes. 30 minutes ago. The parking garage suddenly felt freezing cold. "She was trying to warn us," I whispered. Nate nodded grimly. Then he said the sentence that changed everything. "This wasn't an accident, Adrian," and deep down. I already knew he was right. The counselor died less than an hour after Claire called me. That wasn't coincidence. That was cleanup. Nate immediately contacted one of his old homicide unit friends, but unofficially. "No reports yet," he said after hanging up. "Single vehicle collision. Car went through a guardrail." I stared at him. "You believe that?" "No." Neither did I, because Linda Mercer had looked terrified in that school office, like somebody had already warned her to stay quiet. And now she was dead. Rain hammered the parking garage roof while my mind kept spiraling around one impossible question. Who was Daniel Holloway? Or worse, who was I to this family? Nate grabbed his keys. "We're going back to the school." At night, that counselor left something behind. People always do. The school parking lot was nearly empty when we arrived. Dark windows, wet pavement, only one maintenance truck near the back entrance. Nate used an old security trick with a side door lock. 30 seconds later, we were inside. The hallways felt eerie at night. Children's drawings hanging on walls, tiny backpacks left in cubbies, silent classrooms. It felt wrong being there. We moved quietly toward the counseling office. Linda's door was locked. Nate handled that too. Inside smelled faintly like coffee and old paper. Everything looked normal, too normal, like someone had already cleaned through it. Desk empty, computer gone, filing cabinet drawers open. "Someone beat us here," Nate muttered. Then I noticed one thing, a framed photo lying face down beside the trash can. I picked it up slowly. Linda standing beside several students during some school fundraiser, and near the edge of the photo, Emma, smiling, standing beside me. My blood turned to ice. I dropped into the nearest chair instantly. "No," Nate grabbed the frame. His face changed immediately. "When was this taken?" I pointed shakily toward the corner timestamp. 8 months ago, the same week I lost my watch. "This can't be real," I whispered. But it was. There I was, arm around Emma, smiling directly at the camera, like I knew her, like I belonged there. Nate looked at me carefully. "You seriously don't remember this?" "No," and I didn't, not even slightly. He checked the back of the frame, then froze. "There's writing." I stood quickly. Small black handwriting across the cardboard backing. "Family Literacy Night, April 14. Below that, another sentence, one clearly written by a child. Me and my dad. I stopped breathing. Emma wrote it. She thought I was her father 8 months ago too, not just today, which meant this wasn't random confusion. This had been happening before I disappeared from her life. Nate looked shaken now. Adrian, no, I backed away from the photo. There has to be another explanation. But deep down I already knew there probably was. Then we heard footsteps outside, fast. Nate killed the flashlight instantly. Voices moved through the hallway, 2 men. Office was already cleared. Check again. I felt my pulse explode. They were here for something or someone. Nate motioned silently toward the back storage door. We slipped inside just before the office lights flicked on. Through the crack in the door, I watched 2 large men enter Linda's office. Not police, private security maybe, both wearing dark jackets. One of them immediately grabbed the photo frame from the desk, the one with me and Emma. Found it. The second man pulled out his phone. She'll want confirmation. Claire had to be. The first man looked around carefully. Anything else? Computer-esque gone already. Good, then he lowered his voice. What about the guy? My heartbeat stopped. Claire says he's remembering pieces. Silence, then that's a problem. Nate slowly reached toward his pocket where he kept a small handgun. I shook my head immediately. Not here, not now. The men searched another minute before leaving. We waited nearly 5 full minutes after the footsteps disappeared. Then Nate exhaled slowly. Okay, he whispered. Now I'm officially worried. I stared at the photo frame still sitting in my trembling hands. I knew her. Looks that way. But how? Nate rubbed his jaw hard. I think somebody erased something from your life. That's impossible. Maybe medically impossible, he said quietly. But trauma does weird things. I suddenly remembered the headache after waking on that park bench. The missing hours, the dizziness for weeks afterward. Then another memory fragment slammed into me. This one stronger. Claire crying, not cold, not dangerous, terrified. Please take her. I grabbed my head instantly. Nate stepped forward. What did you see? I was helping her. What? The night of the accident. More flashes came violently now. Rain, screeching tires, Emma screaming, a man chasing us, then impact. Blood, my stomach turned. Somebody died, I whispered. Nate's expression hardened. You think it was Daniel. I don't know if Daniel was real. Then another horrifying thought surfaced. What if Claire lied because she was protecting Emma? From who? I looked toward the hallway. The men she just sent here. Silence stretched between us. Then Nate's phone buzzed again. Unknown number. He answered carefully, listened, then looked at me sharply. It's for you. I took the phone slowly. Hello? A tiny voice answered immediately. Dad, Emma. She sounded panicked. She found my room empty. Emma, where are you? I hid. My chest tightened instantly. Listen to me carefully. Are you safe? No. Her breathing became shaky. She knows you remember now. Ice flooded through me. What? She said if you remembered, everybody would die. Nate grabbed his car keys immediately. Emma, where are you? In the basement. What basement? But before she answered, another voice suddenly echoed through the phone. Claire. Emma, close, too close. Emma gasped quietly. She's coming. Then whispering, she says you're my real father. Everything inside me stopped. The line disconnected. We were already running before the call fully disconnected. Rain exploded across the windshield as Nate drove through downtown Portland at speeds that made other cars slam their brakes. Trace it, I asked, trying. His fingers moved fast across his phone while I kept redialing Emma. Straight to voicemail. Again, voicemail. Every second felt heavier now. She said basement, Nate muttered. Question is whose basement? Then my phone buzzed. Photo message. Unknown number. I opened it instantly. Emma. Curled in the corner of a dark concrete room. Crying. A timestamp in the corner read live. Below the image, you should have stayed, forgot. Nate swore under his breath. Then another memory hit me. Violent this time, not fragments anymore. The entire thing. Rain, Claire screaming, a man dragging Emma toward a black SUV. Me pulling him away, the man punching me, then Claire yelling, he'll kill her. I grabbed my head hard. Oh my God, Nate looked over. What? I remember him. The man in the hoodie, the face finally surfaced completely. Not Daniel, not Claire's husband, Claire's brother, Ethan Mercer. The same last name as the dead school counselor. Everything clicked at once. Linda Mercer wasn't random. She was Ethan's sister, and she'd been helping Emma secretly at school. That's why she died. She was protecting Emma, I whispered. Nate's eyes widened. Adrian, she knew Ethan was dangerous. Another memory surfaced immediately after. The crash, not an accident. Ethan forcing our car off the road near the river. Glass exploding. Claire screaming my name. Then darkness. 8 months erased. Nate suddenly slammed the brakes outside an old industrial building near the harbor. How did you? I remembered this place. The warehouse looked abandoned. Broken windows, rust stains, heavy rain pouring down metal walls, but one light glowed faintly inside. We moved fast. Nate drew his handgun. My pulse hammered violently as we entered through a side door. The basement stairs appeared immediately. Concrete, dark, cold air rising upward. Then Emma screamed. I ran, not thinking, not stopping. The basement door burst open hard enough to hit the wall. Emma sat tied to a chair beneath a hanging light, and beside her stood Ethan, tall, broad shoulders, same hooded eyes from my memories. Claire stood near the back wall crying silently, not trapped, terrified. Ethan smiled slowly when he saw me. Well, he said calmly, looks like your memory finally came back. Emma sobbed instantly. Dad, that word hit differently this time. Not confusion, truth, real truth, because suddenly I remembered everything. The nights with Claire, Emma being born, holding her in the hospital, teaching her how to ride a bike. Every missing piece crashed back into me at once so hard it nearly dropped me to my knees. Ethan's smile widened. She should have stayed with us, he said softly. Then he raised the gun toward Emma, and everything inside me exploded. I didn't think, I moved. The second Ethan pointed the gun at Emma, I lunged across the basement. The shot exploded so loud it shook the concrete walls. Claire screamed. Emma cried out. Then Ethan crashed backward into a metal shelf as Nate slammed into him from the side. The gun skidded across the floor. I reached Emma first. My hands shook violently trying to untie the ropes around her wrists. It's okay, I kept saying, over and over. It's okay, sweetheart, I got you, sweetheart. The word came naturally now, because the memories weren't fragments anymore. They were whole. Claire and I had met almost 10 years earlier. She changed her last name after escaping Ethan's family business. Money laundering, violence, extortion, things I never fully understood until it was too late. Ethan hated that she left, hated even more that she took Emma. The night of the crash, we were trying to disappear. New city, new identities, new life, but Ethan found us. And after forcing our car off the road, he made sure I disappeared too. Nate punched Ethan hard enough to crack his jaw against the floor. Police are coming, he shouted. Ethan laughed anyway, blood running from his mouth. She'll never stop hiding, he spat toward Claire. Claire collapsed beside Emma and me, crying uncontrollably now. I'm sorry, she kept whispering, to me, to Emma, to both of you. I pulled Emma into my chest tightly, and for the first time, she stopped shaking. Police sirens echoed outside minutes later. Then boots thundered down the basement stairs. Everything after that blurred together. Arrests, questions, paramedics, statements. I learned Ethan had spent years controlling Claire through fear. When she finally escaped with Emma, he hunted us down. After the crash, I suffered severe head trauma, temporary dissociative amnesia. The doctors said it was rare but possible. Ethan took advantage of it, convinced everyone I'd abandoned my family voluntarily. Claire searched for me for months until Ethan found her again. After that, fear controlled everything, even the lies, especially the lies. 3 months later, Emma and Claire moved into my apartment, not because things magically healed overnight. They didn't. Trauma doesn't disappear because the bad guy gets arrested. Some nights Emma still wakes up crying. Some nights Claire checks every lock in the apartment twice. Sometimes I still look at old photos trying to reconnect with memories that feel borrowed from another man's life. But we're trying, together. Last week Emma fell asleep beside me during movie night. Half awake, she wrapped her arms around me and whispered, "You came back this time." I sat there for a long while after she fell asleep, just holding her hand, thinking about how close I came to losing everything without even knowing it existed. People think family is only memory, only blood, only time. But sometimes, family is the person who runs toward you in a crowded school office and somehow recognizes your heart before your mind ever catches up.